So I know it has been a long time, but in the past 4 weeks, we've had a lot going on. I had my trip overseas, and then as soon as I got back, we got hit with a massive production spike. So let's take a quick walk around the shop just to give you guys an idea of the amount of work this team has been doing. The reason I'm not filming my video over at my normal desk is because our office is just full of bikes right now. So I have these all getting ready to go. This trike is going to be something funny to talk about later. Coming back into here, Alicia's here late. Hi, Alicia. She's doing all the wiring, but yeah, guys, it's a lot of bikes. We got another Javelin. All of the Brutes. Oh my God. Look at all these bikes. It's been nuts. Another reflective black Javelin. That one's going to get started next week. I'm excited to see how that one turns out. It's a really weird color. I put up that video talking about it before, but this is what it looks like in the daylight. And what's interesting about it, this retro reflective color, depending on the angle, it will look glossy or it will look like a matte finish. So it's a pretty unique one. I'm not totally sure if it's going to work out in the long run just from scratches, because it does have like kind of a weird feel to it, but it may be more durable than I realized. So we're going to have to test that out. I'm 50-50 on it right now though. Project Nightmare. Oh yeah, just like that trike. We got this very weird bike in. I don't know if I hate it or if I love it, but we'll see. I think somebody might buy it around here. We obviously prioritize selling Aventins to our local folks, but we might have a couple little oddballs in here, which I don't know. Let's see, going out in the front. We got more, even more. If you do come by Spark, this is our test ride Javelin. So it's an older kind of prototype bike that we've taken all the toggle switches off and everything. But, a lot of the times people will come by for a test ride and they'll drop a bike. So we just decided to have one set up so that if you dropped it and you scratched the crap out of it, nobody's going to get mad. So we've got this one and then the prototype Brute, so you can try those guys out. Let's go back here. But yeah, that's how we're looking in here. Hopefully by the next time I make one of these videos, we will be cleared out and actually have some room to begin our projects. All right, let's continue the video. So I'm really excited for the team. Everyone's been hauling ass to get this done, and we've been killing it. And that then leads into the next thing, which is we just opened up pre-orders for the next set of Brutes. So if you are interested in a Brute and you would like one for the spring and summertime, you got to get that thing on order now because they will sell out very fast, just judging by the last pre-order set we did and the fact that the longer you wait, the longer production is going to take. So the way we're looking right now, if you order a bike today, if you order a Brute today, you're probably going to look at about 6 or 8 weeks from now. Our frames are about to leave our supplier, and they take about 4 weeks to arrive to us. I would add another 2 or 3 weeks into that mix just because we've had problems every single time where we've had importing issues and problems with the container, things like that. So I'm adding in a little bit of buffer time, but go into this pre-order thinking about 6 or 8 weeks if you're going to get a Brute. Related to the Brute, you will have seen that we just added a really cool option to our website for meetings. We've had quite a few people, who try to get in touch with us, and it's California time, and people call us at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night, and things just don't work out. Or they try to call us on a Saturday or Sunday and we're closed, or they're calling us and we got all hands on deck on production and we can't get to a phone in time. So we created a system now where you can go onto our website and you can schedule a meeting with Colin, and he will talk with you about your Brute or your Javelin order and make sure everything is good to go before you place that order, and we'll be good. You can also schedule an in-person visit now and take a test ride on things and check out the bikes in person. And then there is another function on that appointment system where if you don't have a Spark bike and you want some engineering advice, you can schedule some time with me. It is a paid thing. It's not a free thing, unfortunately. I don't have a lot of time, so trying to fit in these meetings is very, very difficult for me. But if you have a custom project and you're completely stuck, or you're wondering about just bike design, motorcycle design, anything related to the engineering world of e-bikes or motorcycles, you can schedule an appointment with me, and I will have a video chat with you, and I will get you any information that you're trying to seek. The meetings have been really, really great. I would say on average, we're probably doing 3 or 4 a day right now. Colin's been super busy, but it's been working very, very well. It's kind of helped even out a lot of the crazy number of phone calls coming through and stuff like that. You'll also notice if you do call that we updated our entire answering system, just with a couple little warnings in there and little updates just for people, because we continue to get calls from people who are looking for Sur-Rons and all sorts of different bikes that we don't sell. And so hopefully that system will filter out a lot of people that we just can't help and allow the people who are really trying to get through to us to answer or to help get to us, just so we can help you out. It's a lot to juggle for our small team when we're getting dozens and dozens of calls every single day. So moving on from the meetings, we are done with the Grom project. So that bike I was test riding all today. I will be putting out more of a video on that later, but that thing has been a ton of fun. The battery from Powerful Lithium is working perfectly, and we are just in the process now of just kind of cleaning up the wires and getting it to the point where the customer is all set with the appearance. But it's been really, really fun. That bike can probably do a little over 70 miles an hour. It is peaking at about 14,000 watts, and I think it's running about 8,000 nominally right now. That's the way I have it set up, just to keep it stable, and we're not running this thing into the ground and burning the motor out within a few months. We want it to last, because the guy wants to be able to take it on long commutes and use it as an actual vehicle. So that bike is great. And then a similar project has been that Project Nightmare. That one is needing a bit more work. I have not done that much testing on it, just that one video. But overall, we have had a very, very strong reaction to that 8 kilowatt motor. Colin has been getting calls, I don't know, a few times a week from folks who want to get 8 kilowatt Javelins. And so we're starting to take that seriously now and look into the possibility of offering that as a standard, which is really exciting. It's not a guarantee, but it's looking better and better. But you got to realize doing an 8 kilowatt Javelin is like a very expensive build. You're adding thousands onto it. I mean, the battery alone is 3 times the price of the normal Javelin battery, and the battery is the most expensive part of the entire bag. So something we're looking into, but it's going to take a little bit more time. And on a note of very fast bikes, I am really, really excited to let you guys know that we are going to be a sponsor of a upcoming race. So we're going to have some more information on this pretty soon, but there is going to be a race happening, and Spark will be one of the headline sponsors. We will be going to that race, and we will be racing as well, and bringing bikes for you guys to check out. If you live in New England, so if you live in Massachusetts, Connecticut, New York, New Jersey, Virginia even, actually, Maryland, and Delaware area, any of that whole region of the United States, you're going to be able to drive to where this race is. So pretty exciting. It's about 4 hours from where we're located, and I believe about 2 hours from New York City. So Really looking forward to that, guys. If you want to race, start planning for the end of May. Okay, I'll give you more information soon, but the very end of May, start blocking off your weekends and get ready to race. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's not going to be a flat track, so it's not going to be an oval. It's going to be a legit circuit race, and there's going to be other people there racing other kinds of vehicles, but get ready. We want to see a big turnout to this. It should be great. Just going back to the meetings, we have been having a ton of requests for custom bikes. And, you know, this is something that we've been hoping would kind of happen over time as we started to put out some of our own custom builds. You know, we wanted to attract people to Spark to have their own ideas come to life. And it's really kind of heading in that direction. And I'm really, really excited for that. So we have a few custom Javelins that are in the works, and a few custom Brutes that are in the works now. That's something new. And, you know, we're still apprehensive to put in a different motor in a Javelin. We're definitely not to the point where we can put a different motor into the Brute. But we are doing different batteries, and we're looking into doing different custom paints for the Brute. The only thing I would say there is if you do a custom paint on the Brute, you got to be expecting it to be expensive. And the reason is when we build the Brutes, they are done in a batch. It's not done like Javelin, which is one at a time. And we have all the frames welded and painted in one shot. And that is one of the ways that we can reduce the cost of the Brute, because it's already an expensive bike. And doing that system allowed us to shave off a few $100. And so if you get, you know, an idea in your brain and you want to do some crazy paint job on the Brute, you got to realize that we have to completely disassemble the bike. We have to completely strip the paint from the bike, and then repaint it and then reassemble it. So rather than just doing, you know, paint, assemble, we got to do paint, assemble, disassemble, paint, assemble again. So it just about triples the time to make a Brute. So, but we can do it. It's just going to add to the lead time and add to the cost. But you guys are going to start to see some of these custom Brutes come along. I'm getting really excited for how those are going to go. I do have my notes open here just from the past Spark notes and from people who have sent emails and things like that. And it does seem like we're starting to get to the point where a lot of these main concerns and questions have been answered by a lot of you guys. And so that is pretty cool to see. Let's see. So just going through some of these emails, I think I have like maybe 5 or 10 in here. A few different things. I've got a handful of emails in here from people asking if I can increase the acceleration of their bikes. And the bottom line is I can't, unfortunately. If you have a Far Driver controller or if you have something else that's open source, I can give you advice on how to change the parameters. But a lot of the bikes I'm getting emailed about have hard set software in them. And so, you know, they're shipping out that controller. It's been factory set and you can't really change things. So it's not something that you can really edit. So you're kind of stuck with what that bike is out of the box. And that's kind of one of the big reasons why we like the bikes that we build, is because you can get in there and adjust some of the parameters. And that's not necessarily about making these things go crazy fast. It's about having it set up the way that you want. Like me personally, I like to have a really low eco mode on my bike, just so I can get the most range I want. And then I have the high speed modes that I can engage if I'm trying to get into traffic or, you know, something like that. I don't like to burn the power constantly my whole ride. It's just not my style. And you can set all those parameters up using your Far Driver, which is pretty cool. Somebody asking about a stock Bandit motor and whether or not it would work in a Javelin. It does not. The stock Bandit motor is a larger, I believe it's a 200 millimeter dropout. I might be wrong. It might be 180. I can't remember. Too many dropout sizes. But the dropout size on the Javelin is 150 millimeters. And so it's just too big to fit into the swing arm of the Javelin. It's also a fat tire, and so that fat tire is a little too wide for the swing arm, so it doesn't really work out. Unfortunately, can't do that. I've got some questions here about the lighting systems, and how do you connect things and stuff like that. These are part of the kits that we sell on our website. So if you're trying to put like a lighting kit on your bike, wondering how these things work, you buy a kit from us. So just to be clear, if you go onto our website and go onto the product page, you can open that up and it will show you a whole wiring diagram of what all the wires mean. But more importantly, every plug on those harnesses, they're color coded. And so all you have to do is plug the colors together. So you just take the purple plug, put it into the other purple plug. Take the yellow plug, put it into the other yellow plug. So as long as you connect all the colors correctly, and you put your turn signals in the correct side, so the right's on the right and the left's on the left, and then you connect your power to the step down if you have a step down for lighting, or you just go right to the 72 volts if you don't have a lighting kit. It will just turn on. But all you got to do is make sure the right colors are connected to each other, and that's it. So I have a few emails in here asking about how the lighting kits get powered. So there's a few different options. You can either do a voltage step down. So if you just go to the website, you'll see either a 48 volt or 72 volt step down to 12 volt, or we have a rechargeable battery, and you can use that rechargeable battery and power the entire circuit. Another person is asking about the rear lights and how the plug works. Basically, it looks like they're wondering, if you don't have the rear extension cable, will it work? And the answer is yes. So all of these wires, all of these cables, the main ones are designed so that if you don't have a specific need for a specific item, you can disconnect it and the entire rest of the circuit works. So, for example, if you don't want to red a headlight, you can run everything else and it's not going to cause the circuit to fail. If you don't want to run a tail light, you can connect everything else, and not having that tail light in there is going to be fine. If you disconnect the main assembly to the rear, so that's the one that includes the turn signals and the brake light, you disconnect that big blue connector, it all still works. So you can just have a lighting kit that is only the front. So that's about it for me right now, guys. If you have any more questions, I would love to answer them. All you got to do is leave a comment down below, or you can send us an email. That is going to be help@sparkcycleworks.com. I review all those emails. I do my best. Sometimes we'll come through, repeating questions and things like that. But 9 times out of 10, I will just repeat a question just to get it through to that video. But yeah, that's it. It's really crazy over here right now, but I think we are through the worst part of it. And I think the spring is going to be really good over here at Spark. We're finally starting to get to the point where production is starting to even out. Our big goal has been to get to the point where we have enough inventory of parts for the Brute that we can actually stock them and we can ship them within a week of an order. So that is the ultimate goal, and I think hopefully by the end of the spring, maybe early summer, we will be to that point. The same exact thing happened with the Bandit, if you don't know the history of Spark. So we went through a few rounds for the Bandit where we launched the bike, and we can only afford so many at a time to build, and we would put all the money in and we would build that batch and they would sell out, and then we would take that and then we would try to get a little bit more, and we would keep on going through that cycle until we could get to the point where we could afford enough on an early enough period where we could start fulfilling orders as they came in. We don't have outside investments, right? So we don't have people giving us millions of dollars here. It's all self-funded here at Spark. And, I think that's one of the reasons that we are still around and we're still doing what we're doing. And I have no plans of changing that. And so we just got to keep on doing what we're doing. And again, I think the team's been doing great. But yeah, if you got a question, leave it down below. All right, see you next week.